Why go for Morara Kebaso, knowing very well that today you are rolling out SHIF? What is this that you want Kenyans to forget? Do you want Kenyans to forget about the 104 billion tender that you gave to Safaricom and 2 foreign companies? These are people who have actually sat down and they've strategized and they've said, we are going to arrest Morara because we want to see what people can do when we arrest Morara. So they are looking at two things here. You doing nothing. You actually not giving a damn about the arrest of Morara. You not using your voice. And then they are going to use that data to measure where we are as a nation. They know if there's no uproar about the arrest of Morara Kebaso, they know they are safe. They know we can continue with what we are doing on the back. They don't want you remembering about their Adani JKIA deal. They don't want you questioning the education fund. They are programming you to impeach Gachagua, release Morara. They are actually programming you. That's a tactic that is meant to make sure that you guys don't pay attention to what is exactly happening. Happy October, everyone, and I'm pretty sure by the time you get to watch this, you are either partly or fully aware that they arrested Morara Kebaso. Morara is someone that I've sat across on our platform. We've actually had 2 episodes together, and I can tell you, you do not have to be a fan of his tactics, but it's very important for you to raise your voice and make sure that you condemn the arrest of Morara Kebaso, because I can tell you for free, it has nothing to do with him. They will come up with all sorts of allegations. They will say he said that. We've seen it with activists. We've seen what they do to people like Boniface Mwangi. But I can tell you, they are testing you. They are making sure that you don't air your views. They are making sure that you don't use your voice, kwa sababu wanawapima kama litmus paper. Now, let me tell you what's happening in the country today. Today is the 1st of October, and I'm pretty sure this government would rather not have us speaking about the rolling out of SHIF. SHIF, for the people who might know, is going to be replacing NHIF. And yesterday we had a very extensive conversation on why SHIF is a scam. By the time they are rolling out SHIF today, only less than, give or take, 2 million Kenyans have registered in SHIF, while they are aiming for 50 million people to be able to be included in that SHIF. That's honestly a fall for this government. They don't believe it. They have not even done any public participation on SHIF. And right now they are campaigning. They are saying you must be on SHIF for you to be treated. This and that must happen. But they can't believe it. They can't believe that only 2 million of you have registered, because majority of you do not even, like, there's a lot of confusion on SHIF. Yesterday, you know, when we were having that conversation, please go watch that full episode, because I don't want to repeat all the details here, but there are so many discrepancies, and that will make you understand why SHIF is not meant to work for you. SHIF is meant to work against you. And I remember asking our guest yesterday, what's the urgency? I mean, if we are living in a country of 50 million people, over 50 million people actually, why is it urgent for you to roll out something that is not being received well by the public? But remember, guys, we always have agencies like the UN to please. We always have people that we are going to please outside of the country. As long as these things don't even work for Kenyans, we are pleasing the UN, and that's all that matters. You know, World Health Organization, Universal Health Care, which is good. UHC is good, but how we get there should really be questioned. But go watch that conversation on SHIF. It's being rolled out today, and that's exactly what they don't want you to pay attention to. Because let me ask you, why is it that we have a lot of things that are going to distract us from the cause? They don't want you remembering about the Adani JKIA deal. They don't want you questioning the education fund. They do not want you talking about seed sovereignty. They don't want you talking about the bills that are being passed in parliament to make sure that our farmers suffer. They don't want you paying attention to that. They are programming you to impeach Gachagua, release Morara. they are actually programming you, because every media station right now is paying attention to Gachagwa's impeachment. And I'll tell you why that's a tactic that is meant to make sure that you guys don't pay attention to what is exactly happening. Gachagua is going to be impeached by MPs. Everyone here has a representative in parliament that you know. If your representative is a member of parliament that you follow, they are talking about the impeachment of the deputy president, and you've been programmed to follow what they are saying, so that you forget about their Danny JKIA deal, so that you forget about the SHIF. By the way, guys, let us pay attention to SHIF because it touches on our healthcare system. They came and rolled out CBC, and we have not, imagine you guys, by the time it's next year, the craziness that is going to come out surrounding CBC is major. And now they've touched on the healthcare system and they've rolled out SHIF, and they don't want even to give this civic education on SHIF, because it was so sad to watch the CS for Health yesterday not even comprehend what SHIF is all about. And as I said, you are watching members of parliament who are saying even them, they don't understand what SHIF is about. And then you wonder, you passed the bill, right? You did pass this bill, and now you are coming to tell us you also don't understand what it is about, but you passed the bill, Mheshimiwa. So, no, sorry, Mheshimiwa, nope, not Mheshimiwa, but anyways, let's go back to the arrest of Morara Kebaso. As I said, they are programming your mind to forgetting about the most important things in this country, and that's why the timing of his arrest is so perfect for them. These are people who have actually sat down and they've strategized, and they've said, we are going to arrest Morara because we want to see what people can do when we arrest Morara. So they are looking at two things here: you doing nothing, you actually not giving a damn about the arrest of Morara, you not using your voice, and then they are going to use that data to measure where we are as a nation. They know if there's no uproar about the arrest of Morara Kebaso, they know they are safe. They know we can continue with what we are doing on the back. And let me tell you something, I don't really care about the impeachment of Gachagua. Gachagua has to deal with what he's going through. I see he's kneeling in churches now. They are praying for him. They've started programming us religiously. They want people to sympathize with Gachagua, but Gachagua is no saint in all this. And for someone to look at Gachagua as a saint, guys, don't be mistaken. He is not a saint. He has started identifying now himself with the Gen Z's protest, because you remember, he says he was being accused of funding the Gen Z's. And right now, these people really need to come up with a clear explanation of who they really think funded this protest. I'm having a problem with our leaders not understanding that protests do not have to be funded by anyone. They have a hard time believing that these protests were actually organic. They can't comprehend how people marched in the streets in hundreds of thousands. They can't comprehend how we took over social media. They can't comprehend how no one bankrolled people to go to the street and say, Ruto must go. And once again, they don't want you remembering that hashtag. They don't want you remembering that Ruto must go. So what do? They arrest Morara so that they can be able to measure, mmefika wapi, by the way, mulimaliza kelele ama mnataka aje tuendelee kaa inchi, right? And then you have Gachagua now seeking sympathy right there so that people can be able to say, oh my God, are they accusing him of having funded the Gen Zs? No, he did not. He's ours. So we are going to stand for Gachagua. Who is standing for Gachagua? Gachagua must carry his own cross, right? He must carry his own cross. And I don't even believe in the impeachment of Gachagua alone. I believe in the impeachment of Gachagua and Ruto, because if one of them goes, the both of them have to go. There is no saint here. Both of them have to go. The reason why I was saying they need to be clear on who funded this protests, it's because I also don't want us to forget what Ruto did last week, shaking hands with the president of Ford Foundation after having accused Ford Foundation of funding the protest, and then going all the way to the US to shake hands with him. We had Kioni and people will always say things. And I remember he said they made sure that Ruto apologized. That's why he had to go meet the presidents of Ford Foundation. That's why he had to go shake hands, because the Americans made sure that he apologized for that statement. But if you're going to say Ford Foundation funded the protest, and then you go and shake hands with the same people you accused of funding the protest, who is lying to who? Who is lying to who? This government is so confused. It is so confused that they make sure that there is a blame and there is a fall. And as long as it's not our fault, this is Morara Kebaso's fault, by the way, now that the country is where it is, it's Morara. Please tell me one wrong thing Morara has done. Please tell me we still live in a country that respects freedom of speech. Please tell me what it is Morara has done. Put it on the comment section. What is this that Morara has done that warrants the DCI, to go and cause chaos in his offices? What is our priority, by the way, as a country? Impeaching DP Gachagua, arresting Morara Kebaso. Don't we have Kenyans who are still stuck in Lebanon? Don't we? Honestly? Don't we have a lot of things that are happening in our country right now? Don't we have things that we need to focus on? Why is the urgency? Why is the urgency to impeach Gachagua? And I've said I'm not a fan. Whatever comes for Gachagua comes, whatever, he made his bed, so let him lie on it, right? But what's the urgency in impeaching Gachagua? Why go for Morara Kebaso, knowing very well that today you are rolling out SHIF? What is this that you want Kenyans to forget? Do you want Kenyans to forget about the 104 billion tender that you gave to Safaricom and 2 foreign companies so that they can be able to create an integrated system for SHIF? Do you want Kenyans to forget that you gave this when we have innovators in our country, yet you claim you want to create employment for our youths, but the only employment you are confident in doing is labor export? But we have technocrats in our country. We have innovators in our country, but you will not give them that deal because you have to give it to some foreigners who even right now we cannot put a finger on. Please tell me how a company that was established less than 2 years ago is going to take over a whole system of our healthcare. No one is talking about even the intellectual property. What happens after 10 years of that deal that you gave to these people? And guys, that's where I'm saying, pay attention to what these people don't want you to see. They do not want you to know that they have an integrated system for our healthcare center that is going to fall on 3 companies that are not experienced to do so. They don't want you questioning such things. They want to blind you, and they want to make sure that there is something that is going to touch on you that is going to make you so frustrated that you forget. I don't want you forgetting about SHIF. I don't want you forgetting about the Adani JKIA deal, okay? I don't want you forgetting about the education fund. I do not want you forgetting a million reasons why Ruto must go. So, as we continue fighting for people like Morara, and I love that, honestly, you all, majority of you took to your platforms and you said, free Morara. I saw someone like, someone I respect so much, Okiya Omtata. He actually, I think he slept there, making sure that he's keeping tabs on what's happening. And at this point, allow me to talk to our fellow influencers or content creators. It is very important for you to be on the right side of history. Many people have said, oh, stay away from politics, don't do this. No, do what is right. It is very important. These people are the people that consume your content are not okay with what is happening in the country right now. And I understand the fear to want to weigh in and see, where do I fit? What is the right thing for me to say, and when should I say it? But times have changed. Isi kama kitambo, times are changing. And I cannot tell you how much influence a platform that has even 1,000 followers, by you posting there and telling your audience, pay attention to what is happening to SHIF. Pay attention. I saw, what is her name? Sabina Chege is moving a motion in parliament affecting farmers. And I'm like, you campaigned at the backbone of these same farmers that you are now turning against in parliament. And I'll tell you, it is very important for us to pay attention to the bills that are being passed, because these bills are not, you know, sometimes you see an MP has moved a bill in parliament, you are not questioning their integrity or you are not questioning their level of knowledge, but you wonder, where did you get, like, how is it in you to move such a bill? And then you dig deeper and you see, no, this person is trying to satisfy an international or a multinational corporation. They are trying to please organizations. They are making sure that when GMO is being advocated for, there's already a bill that backs up GMO. But you guys, you didn't see it because we were busy here paying attention to things that do not matter. So a call to action to all influencers, all people who have a following. Why don't you try posting what you know is right? Why don't you try being on the right side of history? It's not easy. You're going to get backlash. Maybe by the time they finish coming for Morara, they'll be like, oh, why is Lynn Ngugi? Of course, it's not easy. It's a very hard decision to make. And I know that. But you have a following. And it's very important for you to use your following to make sure that your people know what is happening in our country. If 1,000 of the content creators we have right now did an episode on SHIF, do you think this government would be okay rolling out something that they know is not going to be of impact to the people? If I did that, another person did it, if 1,000 of us did it, and for example, we have a following of 15 million, those are 15 million people that we've given civic education to on why SHIF is a scam and why we should not advocate for it. Until the CS for Health or the PS come clear and say what SHIF is, maybe I can pay attention. They don't even know. Why should I know? They don't know. Why do they expect you to register for SHIF if they do not know? Today is the 1st of October. Make noise about SHIF. Educate yourself on SHIF. Make sure that you talk to your parents about SHIF. Make sure that you talk to your children about SHIF, because that's the only way we are able to create influence. While you're at it, do not forget justice for Morara Kebaso. And in the same breath, we saw what happened to Bruce. It's still hard to comprehend what happened to Bruce. It's still hard to say, because maybe Morara talked about a certain governor, maybe that's why he was arrested, etc. You see the way you see the speed at which they go after people like Morara, and we still have no clue on what happened to Kware. By the way, see, I thought that guy escaped from prison. No one is following it up anymore because we forgot. Because no one is holding this government accountable to what happened in Kware. Because they know very well, they presented to us a scapegoat who was not behind the Kware massacre. They know that. They know that for damn sure. They know that. And then they know you have forgotten, because all eyes on impeach DP Gachagua. Let me tell you something. Do not be programmed. Even if you have to take a notebook or a sticker and put it on your wall that this is happening, I can't forget this, I can't forget this, I can't forget this. Do it. Make sure you educate yourself, and make sure that even when they arrest Morara, look at it at length and ask, why would they really do this to Morara? Because they know today is SHIF day and they do not want you paying attention to SHIF. So I would love if you could share something on your platform. Maybe don't even comment on this video or whatever you decide to do. My call to action is, if you are watching this and you have a platform, why don't you go tweet something or post something or even put something on your IG or put something on your reels to make sure that people continue being woke on what's happening in our country right now. I've always said, when they say Kenya ni home, that statement is so profound. We do not have another home. We do not have another country. We do not have another Kenya to run to. If we don't if we honestly don't take care of what we have, I can tell you, these politicians do not have your best interest at heart. And if there are those who do, then they are very few. They are very, very few. So make sure ukisema Kenya ni home, you are doing right by that. My joy is to see each and every one of you post about SHIF. My joy is to see you go out there and say proudly, release Morara. And while you are at it, please make sure that you tweet about things that are not working. Imagine you are arresting Morara. You've even given a lot of publicity to Morara. But please go and check what he stands for. And I've said we do not all have to follow or agree with Morara. But this is where we collectively come and say, no, don't try us that way. We know what you're doing, and we are going to use our voice, and we are going to ask for what is right by this country. Always interested in your views on the comment section, and if there's anything that you can't say on the comment section, our email is always open, info@lnn.digital. Do not forget my call to action: go and post something about what's happening. Educate the people that are also following you, and make sure that we are using these platforms to educate and create awareness and remind these people about 2 or 3 things. We remember about SHIF, we still remember about Adani JKIA, we remember about the education fund, we remember that Ruto must go. All right? On the comment section, your views.